Talk Radio with a local angle, where we give opinions and analysis on what's
Is it
happening in
Fugate
the world of sports
or
and interview
Fugate?
coaches and players and get
And a good Monday morning to you. You are inside the cave. We're inside the cave as well. Ian Wendt, John Kane, hanging out with you till 9 o'clock today.
Good morning, Lenaway. Good morning, Ian, on the other side of the plexi.
Safely on the other side of the plexi.
And the safely is meant for me.
Right. Well, if you had your way, you wouldn't be able to see through it.
That's
more like
true.
a wall built between us. But, you know.
Yeah, privacy fence.
That's right. Privacy fence. Peek over it like Wilson.
That's right. We both look like Wilson to one another.
We do a little bit with our computer monitors. A lot of stuff to talk about today. A busy weekend in sports. A basketball game was played yesterday. We'll talk about that quite a bit. Big wins for the hockey programs over at AC. We'll break that down. We'll talk about the NBA All-Star game just a little bit. That's right. We'll talk about Michigan State in the tournament, Big Ten and the Big Dance. We'll look over some bets and our Big Ten basketball tournament predictions as that schedule has come out. So let's get the show rolling.
now for an Inside the Cave sports update.
All right, we're going to lead the update here this morning with Tyler Fugate, a sophomore at Siena Heights. She was a lone representative on the Siena Heights women's track and field team to compete at the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics Women's Indoor Track and Field National Championships. Fugate finished 6th in the pole vault event to earn NAIA All-American status. She cleared the bar at 3.73 meters. They don't
That's
do
over 9 feet.
They don't do feet anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, that's way over 9 feet. That's over 11 feet. On her second attempt, before missing a
12 and a half feet.
Yeah, see, I said it was over 11.
You didn't say over 12.
At 3.83 meters, she missed at 3.83 meters to finish 6th in the standings. This is the first year that Fugate has qualified for the national meet in her college career. Congratulations to her on that. Tyler Fugate and the rest of the Saints women's track and field team will return to action in 2 weeks on March 27th for the Indiana Wesleyan Polar Bear Invitational. See how they do on that one. Hopefully it'll be a little bit too warm for polar bears. Let's see. Okay. College football. The 22nd ranked Siena Heights Saints were upset by Indiana Wesleyan 17-10 on Saturday afternoon. Jared Jordan was the bright spot for the Saints with 20 carries for 118 yards. Tyler Neck finished 19 of 29 for 213 yards and a touchdown. Jordan had a 26-yard run on his way to breaking the 100-yard mark on the ground. He also led the Saints with 8 catches for 71 yards. That's
Do it all, young man.
That's a great game for him, but it also highlights a problem that we'll talk about later on. Abdul Hakim hauled in 3 catches for 68 yards and the lone Saints score. Touchdown. Gabe Callery led the Saints defense with 11 total tackles. Trenton Morrow finished with 8 tackles, a forced fumble, and an interception. That's a nice game, too. Okay, the Saints are still on the Schneider here, looking for their first W and they'll return home to host Lawrence Tech on the 13th of March at O'Loughlin Stadium. And that game will, of course, be on 96 point, no, maybe not. I'm gonna have to check that. That could be on Big Sis. So, we'll see if they can get the W on Saturday.
The Saturday night festivities.
That's a new one.
No, it's not. We just never play it.
Oh,
It's an oldie.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, the Adrian College women's hockey team had a nail biter pulled out a double overtime win over Aurora Saturday at Arrington. The difference maker was a goal after the second time that came in the shootout competition. And Ian will have a lot more to say about that because I think he was eyeballing that.
Yes, sir.
Adrian coach Sean Skelly was exhausted but happy after another thrilling win.
Yeah, I think they came with their best effort, and we didn't have our grade A game, but we figured out a way to win in a shootout, which we haven't been in. It was a fun challenge for us. Like, we haven't been in a game like that in a long time, and kudos to our program to figure out a way to win a hockey game. It was, not the prettiest, but it's exciting at the end of the day.
That's right. Keeps the unbeaten string going here too.
Yeah. Again, a win like that could help us big time moving into playoffs here as we end the regular season. So you're probably going to see that team here next weekend if we're able to win on Wednesday, and the next ones are going to be a battle for sure.
Okay, just as Coach Sean Skelly said, we'll have more on the Adrian College Lady Icers. As the week goes on, they return to action Wednesday, March 10th at home as they host Lake Forest in a Slats Cup quarterfinal at 7. Okay, cool. Well, with a balanced offense that saw 4 players with multiple goals. When in the world has that happened? I'd like to know the last time.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, 4 with more than one. The Adrian College men's hockey team repeated as Northern Collegiate Hockey Association Peters Cup champions with a resounding 11-1 victory Saturday over visiting Trine on senior night. There's a lot more to discuss on this story, but they ought to think about a mercy. After 2 periods, just give it a rest. 11-1, impressive. The Bulldogs were just dominant. Freshman Ryan Butler, junior Trevor Kuykendall, Ballant and Ruffin scored 2 apiece, with Butler, Kuykendall, and Ruffin also recording an assist. Shields also had 3 points on a goal and 2 assists, all adding to the regular season NCHA title and hoisting the Peters Cup trophy. How many times have they done that? Anyway, after the celebration, Coach Adam Crew.
Yeah, we love trophies in this building. My former coach Ron Fogarty, he's back in town with Princeton being shut down, and he texted me this morning and said Trophy Day, something that we've cherished for a long, long time here. And any chance you get to win a trophy, whether it's regular season, playoffs, NCAA championship, which we don't know that feeling quite yet. It's a good day, and I'm really proud of our guys and our program and our school for getting through some tough times this year and being able to compete as much as we have, and to the point where we played all 8 games and won a conference championship.
Well, Adrian will defend its NCHA Harris Cup championship starting on Tuesday at home. You can check it out on AdrianBulldogs.com and or the NCHAHockey.org official brackets. You checked that yet?
Have I checked it yet?
Yeah.
No.
Are you in the midst?
Yes. I can be.
I was just
What do you
curious.
wanna know?
Well, I want to know who they're playing.
Oh. Well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but we can talk about that in a moment. All right, 5 women Adrian College Bulldog wrestlers were named All-American at the. This thing is so long, you only get alphabet soup, don't you? At the NCWWC.
Adrian will play Trine again. in
Oh
the
wow,
Quarter.
that should be.
Yes.
Okay. At the NCWWC. Do you know what that is?
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Let me guess.
Okay.
NCWWC. Okay.
National?
I was gonna say Northern,
Oh, Northern.
and then Collegiate is for sure the second one.
Uh-huh. Something to do with women's wrestling.
Wrestling Championships.
Okay, there you go.
National Collegiate Women's
Oh,
Wrestling
it's
Championship.
national, wasn't Northern. You
Yeah,
just had to
yeah.
read a little
It's
bit
in the
further,
next
you would have
sentence.
had it. What's the
John, it's
matter
in
with
the next
you?
sentence. Why'd you even ask me?
Just
We
to-
figured it out. It's right
just
there.
to- just to see.
It's right here on the paper.
Okay. Anyway, they did compete at what
Jeez, Mo.
we just said, hosted by Tiffin University. Out of 12 Bulldog wrestlers, Adrian placed 5 in the top 8 at the national tournament. Out of the 22 colleges and universities that competed, the Bulldogs placed 9th as a team with 43 points. Named All-American Emily Mendez, Elisa Cox, Zoe Nowicki, Megan Vanderasek, and Jasmine Hale. Congrats to all of them for a fine showing at the national tournament.
You must be pretty good.
Yeah, we gotta get a he and a
Oh,
she.
you
in
say
the-
he,
they,
sorry.
Yeah, right. So,
They know what to do and how to do it.
How about that one?
yeah, that's it.
That's
Okay.
that's gender neutral.
Yeah, right.
For the they.
They, yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Siena Heights baseball had all 4 games called this week due to poor field conditions. Siena Heights softball, however, went 2 for 2 over the weekend as they got the brooms out, sweeping Midway 12-11. Ooh, and 12-3. Love that consistency with the 12. But then they lost to Indiana Southeast 8-1 and 9-5. Okay, they finished 1-3 during their spring trip to Virginia. The latest a 9-7 loss to Roanoke in Salem. And then the finale, a tight 5-3 loss to Ferrum. They're off until the 18th when they are set to host Defiance. Okay. I defy anyone to say that they're not going to win that game.
That's a pretty good one. I buy that one.
Okay.
That's not bad.
This is
All
why
right.
I'm running the board today.
Yeah,
I knew I'd have to fire off all these one-liners.
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let's get to Big Ten basketball.
Oh, I have a Tigers story.
Oh, yeah. You want to do that
You
one
have a
next?
Tigers story?
Yeah, we
Well,
can do that.
Detroit won Saturday. They beat Baltimore 6-5.
Yeah.
Then they beat the Blue Jays 5-1.
You know,
Detroit 5-2.
I know. I'm getting. See, you can
They
hit
play the
that.
Yankees Tuesday.
They're 5-2. You can hit that one-liner there.
You must be pretty good.
No, that's not it. I just, too often when you're really good in the exhibition, regular season doesn't go as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, 5-2. You're right. In preseason so far.
Was it this one?
I got a bad feeling about
There you go.
That's the
There
one.
you go. They have the day off today, and then they take on the Yankees in Lakeland on Tuesday. I want them to get a win over the worthless Yankees because they lost to them last time. So
That's right.
let's get a W for that. save this other stuff because we're going to go right into it. So I got to keep my hand on it. Kyle Larson back in NASCAR and back in victory lane. On Sunday at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Larson raced to his first NASCAR victory since he was reinstated from a nearly year-long suspension. He ran just the first 4 races last season, then lost his job for using a racial slur while playing a video game early in the pandemic. He worked all last year on rebuilding his image and was hired by Hendrick Motorsports when NASCAR said the suspension would lift at the start of this year. Brad Keselowski for Team Penske was second in a Ford, followed by hometown driver Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin in Toyotas for Joe Gibbs Racing. Ryan Blaney was 5th for Penske, and Martin Truex Jr. and Bell put up all 4 JGR cars in the top 7. That's pretty good. That's pretty. They must be pretty good.
They must be.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, and after the race, he asked Larson. He said, "No comment."
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Right. Let me try that for a little while. See how that works out for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Blake Griffin is finally doing the sayonara with the Pistons, right?
Yes.
He's agreed to sign with the Nets because he became a free agent Friday when the former All-Star completed a buyout agreement with the Pistons. He cleared waivers Sunday. Imagine that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we don't have that up there, and we still have to get that up there because this would have been the perfect spot for Gomer. So, yeah, he cleared waivers on Sunday and was eligible to sign with any team. He decided to join All-Stars Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden in Brooklyn. Person told the Associated Press on condition of anonymity because there was no announcement. Griffin is a 6-time All-Star who has averaged 21.4 points and 8.7 rebounds since being picked number 1 in the 2009 draft. Just didn't do it, any of those things, with the Pistons.
Do it! Just do it!
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're getting there.
Gosh, come on.
Yeah, we're
Can you
getting
read
there.
a little faster?
Well, no,
We got
I
stuff to talk about here.
I know, but that's going to be
Over
like
here
in the second
snoozing.
segment here.
All right.
Naz Hamilton scored 19 points. He grabbed 13 rebounds. Akinrae Johnson added 19 points and 9 boards. And number 12, Michigan beat Northwestern 63-58 to snap a 2-game losing streak in women's basketball Big Ten play. Northwestern got within 55-51 with 6 minutes left, but didn't score again until the 2:04 mark on a 3-pointer by Jordan Hamilton, with the shot clock winding down to make it 60-54. Michigan also struggled from the field in the 4th, making just 1 field goal in the final 4 minutes. Boy, those final 4 minutes must have been, not much to cheer about. But the Wolverines made 7 of 12 free throws in the quarter and were 20 of 29 overall. So congrats there. All right, we're going to dig into this, but we're coming up quickly on a break here. We're going to be talking.
No, I got another update.
What do you mean another update?
Yeah.
What is it?
Runaway United.
Oh, right.
They played at Dexter this weekend. They came up on the short end of a 4-1 loss to the Dreadnoughts, much improved from the 8-0 loss to them earlier this season.
There you go.
So, Runaway United, they host Skyline Friday. That'll be up in Chelsea, senior night, to celebrate their 3 graduating seniors.
Yes, exactly. Congrats to that. All right. We'll do this because we'll be coming back. Spartans upset the Wolverines.
Was that the story? Was that it? There's more stuff in there. Come on, read it.
Gotta get my alerts out here.
Can't hear you, John.
Yeah, you
Alright, you gonna
potted
read the
me
story,
down.
or?
Potted me down.
No, you're up.
Oh.
Waiting for you to finish the update here.
All right. Spartans with a great shot at the NCAA tournament now, with the Big Ten tournament coming up. Rocket Watts has 21. Aaron Henry, 18, to lead Michigan State to a 70-64 win over number 2 Michigan on Sunday. That seems to seal the deal for Coach Tom Izzo's 23rd consecutive NCAA tournament bid. The Spartans have won 5 of their last 7 games, beating number 4 Ohio State, number 5 Illinois, and now number 2 Michigan. And their second-ranked rivals. Michigan senior guard Eli Brooks hurt his left ankle early in the game at Breslin and did not return in what potentially could be a problem going into the Big Ten and NCAA tournaments. So, when we come back from the break, we're going to talk Big Ten basketball tournament, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, you're listening to
Oh.
Inside the Cave here on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com. We'll be
John,
right back.
Thank you so much for that 21-minute update. We all appreciate it.
That was easy.
Yeah, real good stuff.
That
Real
was
good stuff. Hey, the first hour of the show being brought to you by DNP Communications. No matter how small or large your business is, DNP Communications can help manage it, communicate better. From internet and phone solutions to managed IT, we're here to help. Contact an experienced business solutions consultant today at d-pcomm.com. DNP Communications, connecting you to what matters most. We'll be back. We're talking Michigan State hoops here inside the cave. Find us on social media. That's where you can find a link to today's YouTube stream. So come inside the cave with us. John Kane, Ian Went, 96.5 The Cave, 965thecave.com.
tunes for sports. 96.5, The Cave.
This is not break music.
Hey, welcome back inside the cave, Ian Wentz.
I gotta read this. You know, I gotta
John
read this.
Kane. What?
I gotta read this. Hasn't been read yet.
Oh, we're not done with the update at
No.
7:27.
No.
What? Read it.
Okay,
Go.
this is the last story in the update. Big Ten men's basketball tournament bracket is finally set after going down to the regular season's final game between Maryland and Penn State to settle a seed. Michigan basketball, of course, has known its tip-off time since Thursday when it clinched the conference's #1 seed with a 69-50 win over Michigan State. Wolverines will face the winner of Thursday's game between MSU and Maryland at 11:30 in the morning on Friday. A game against MSU, which, we'll see, would be the third for the Wolverines in 9 days after splitting this week's games. Michigan State, of course, is the #9 seed and will open the second round of the Big Ten tournament, which has moved from Chicago to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. They'll be going at 11:30 in the morning against the Terps. So there you have it.
Oh, wow. Thank you, John, for the update.
Okay,
It
cool.
only took a quarter of the show.
That's
Impressive stuff.
not bad. I have to do it again
Oh
after
gosh,
the 8
no,
o'clock.
I'm doing it at 8. There's no.
At
We
the
can't
8
let you
o'clock
do that
hour.
again at 8. That's a travesty.
Come
A
on.
30-minute update twice. I might as well just go home for the last half hour.
Hey, there's people out there that are.
That would agree with me, yeah. Okay, so Sunday's game, Michigan State. We all know what went down. I want to talk about both teams. Okay.
Both teams.
Yeah, sort of a breakdown of what happened with each. We'll start with Michigan. And
You got that? How come you played the other one a lot louder? I can tell in my
because I was
headphones.
still talking. The other time we were coming out of a break.
Okay, sure.
Here, we'll give it You lost. Okay, you want me to play it any louder than that?
What do you mean? What?
Oh, Notre Dame did get a win.
You're asking me?
Your
I didn't
Irish
lose.
got a win.
Huh?
Didn't the Irish beat Florida State?
Yeah,
Last
it's
night?
ranked in the top 10.
Yeah. All right, we're not. That's all we're getting. That's all Notre Dame gets. Michigan. I talked about it last week a little bit. Like, don't do the Michigan thing where
What's the Michigan thing?
where you look really good and then you kind of underperform. Like, you know, get bounced in the Sweet 16 or falter in the tournament, the Big Ten tournament. Don't do that. It's
Well,
not
the-
over.
the
Here's
only
the
thing-
thing. No one will remember what happened this year if you either A, don't win the conference championship, or B, don't at least make the Elite Eight.
The thing is,
Don't-
I don't know
Michigan,
what's
don't
going on.
slip up.
They were saying because of COVID this year that the home floor wasn't that much of an advantage. Obviously, they were wrong. Michigan crushed State in Ann Arbor, and State comes back and wins in East Lansing. The home floor.
I think there's a different reason.
Oh, you don't think the floor had anything to do with it?
No.
They could have played.
There was a Hall of Fame coach on one sideline and a second-year guy on the other. Lose by 19, and you come back and you beat that same team 3 days later. That's all Izzo. So anyway, my first point, Michigan, don't slip up. Come on. We said you were the best in the country. Then you go and lose to Illinois and lose to State. Don't slip up. These games will define your season. No one will. That State team that lost in the first round to like a 15 seed. You remember that when State was a 2 and they lost to whoever, Bradley or someone?
Yeah.
No one remembers how the regular season went. No one remembers how they did in the Big Ten tournament. That's what they remember, is what they did in the NCAAs.
Well, obviously you don't remember it too clearly because you can't remember a State's opponent exactly.
All you know is they lost to a 15. That should be enough. So Michigan, warning you, don't let this happen. Okay, you slipped up here. From here on out, these are the ones that matter. These are the games that matter. Whoever you play in the next round on Friday, just don't make it a habit, is what I'm saying. Number 2, Sean D. Brown came off the bench, hit some big shots. Give
Now
him credit.
He's injured.
He's not hurt. Brooks is hurt.
Brooks is hurt, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, he went up with a shot and rolled his ankle on Bingham's leg, and those are not. I cringe when I see those.
They
Honestly,
have to
I'm
hope
surprised
they
don't
have to
have
hope they
more.
can get him back for the big dance. I wouldn't worry about the conference tournament.
Yeah, no. So I thought Brown was good off the bench. He wasn't afraid to shoot. State left him open. He made the shots. And number 3 with Michigan. Now people say, well, this game didn't matter. Michigan had the Big Ten locked up.
Still
Doesn't
probably
matter,
got a
with
number
the
1 seed.
Yep, they got that all taken care of. There's still a NCAA 1 seed.
Yeah.
Didn't change that at all. But there was motivation. You beat State. You all but eliminate them from the NCAA tournament. Because that's 3 losses in the last 4 after losing to Maryland, and then you would lose to Michigan twice. Okay, then you're in this Big Ten tournament. If you're State, you need to win 2 games at that point. Then letting Michigan State off the hook gave Sparty a tournament bid, 3 wins over a top 5 program this year, and Ohio State and Illinois and now Michigan. You could have eliminated State. So Michigan fans that say, oh, there was no motivation, this game doesn't matter. It did. Big time. You could have knocked State out. Didn't do it. Didn't do it. Do you have any thoughts on the Michigan side? I'll give them the fight song again. Here. Any thoughts on Michigan, John?
It's just like it always is. There's no difference. We've said it time and time again. Shooting cures all ills. You have to be able to shoot. The games that Michigan State lost, they couldn't shoot, they couldn't hit the 3. And that puts them in a lot of trouble because Henry's playing really well, but he can't do everything inside for the Spartans. And they can't get some points on the perimeter, really hampers their offense. They didn't shoot well at Maryland with the 3. Didn't shoot the 3 well in Ann Arbor. We're much better at it in East Lansing.
Right. I think the other thing is they didn't shoot too many 3s.
Right.
They only took 11.
Yeah. They're not a.
I need to know who they are.
Yeah.
They're
not going
a
to shoot
sharp shooting team.
Well, they're not going to shoot a bunch of 3s unless they come out of the locker room in the first half and they hit some. If that happens, then they'll take a chance that they're going to be hot from there, for the day, and they'll put up more. But you're right, most of the time, not going to happen. So it'll be interesting. I tell you the truth, I think they could actually do some stuff. I think they get the W against Maryland in the first game of the conference.
Second time playing Maryland.
Second time playing Maryland. This time they're on a neutral floor. They're not at Maryland's place. I mean, Maryland shot the lights out from 3 to start that game.
Yeah.
They couldn't miss one, and Michigan State couldn't make one. So
it was a slow start to this game too. It was tough to watch the first 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, you knew it was you knew that was going to be a grinder game. That's just the way Michigan and Michigan State play each other. It's going to be a grinder. I mean, neither game came close to going over the total. They got the total at like 139 or 140, and it was 69-50. at Michigan, and this one was 70 to 64. Neither one came close to going over the total. So it's a grinder game all the way, and it's going to be a situation where I think they can get to Maryland. And I'll take them one at a time, but Michigan's going to be just sitting, and State will come out. When I'm predicting they're going to play Michigan, and Michigan will have been sitting, and State will have some juice flowing from that win over Maryland. So that's a little bit of an advantage for them. I don't know how motivated Michigan's going to be to beat State in the conference tournament. It's not like they need it. It's not like,
Well, they might.
No.
They might.
I
I mean,
mean,
you want to get the 1 seed.
I know, but I still don't think they're going to lose the 1 seed. I mean, because there's just not a lot there.
Well, you got Illinois,
Unless
Iowa, and the Big Ten looking for a 1 seed.
yeah, well, no, I don't think. I think the only way Michigan can lose the 1 seed is if they don't win the conference tournament, and Illinois does. Because Michigan's got 2 wins over Iowa. They're not going to make Iowa a 1 seed over Michigan. So that's not going to happen. Illinois could do it if the Wolverines don't win the conference championship and Illinois does, and then Illinois, we got that win over Michigan, and it was an impressive win. So that could get snatched from them, but just I don't know how. And who does do we have that bracket up?
We do.
Who's Illinois got in the first game?
Illinois has Indiana or Rutgers.
Yeah,
They got the double bye.
See? So Michigan's actually getting shafted here for being the 1 seed in the tournament. They could have had a double bye and come off to play either Maryland or Rutgers. Instead, they're going to get Michigan State again.
Well, they could get Maryland. State could lose.
And
They've lost to Maryland before.
I don't think so.
No, see, I
Michigan-
would like that.
Michigan State's playing better than Maryland. They had a clunker, at College Park. No
Maryland's
question
a
about it.
long team.
Yeah, I'm not saying Maryland's not good. I just think Michigan State's going to win that game, and Michigan winds up not getting. They'd rather play somebody. They'd rather play the winner of Maryland, I think, and Rutgers than have to go against the Spartans again.
You mean Indiana?
Or
Yeah.
Maryland and Indiana. Then
Rutgers, Indiana.
Rutgers, Indiana.
Yeah.
Then have to go against the Spartans again.
Oh, for sure.
So
Well, State was either going to be the 8 or the 9, right? Or
Yes,
if they
they
lose,
were-
they
yes.
even be the 10.
right, they were gonna play Maryland
Maryland.
regardless of what happened against Michigan.
Yeah.
So they knew that, and to tell you the truth, I think what was it? Maryland could have slipped with the Penn State. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe they could have dropped to 10 if they don't beat Penn State, so they would not have played Michigan State. That's what I'm thinking. So
Rutgers would have slid down
yeah,
into that 8 spot
right,
instead of being a 7.
or yeah.
Yeah. Quick thoughts on Michigan State before we get to the break. Got 3 bullet points. 1, you're in.
I am.
You're in.
Where am I in at?
State's in. They're in the dance.
Okay.
If they were on the bubble going into that game Sunday, they're now in. I thought they were in before that. Take us back to our conversation, not this past Sunday, but the one before. They're a tournament team. Sure, you lost to Maryland, then you beat Indiana, and then you split with Michigan.
Well,
I
we
didn't think
said-
they'd split.
We talked about that. We said if they could split Michigan, they could get in.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
Yeah, they're in. Number 2, the Bigs played an outstanding game. Big guys down low. I mean, you didn't really hear from Hunter Dickinson till the last 5 minutes of the game. He was at like 5 points with 6 to go. He got in foul trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Bingham, Hall, Marvel played a good game against him. Number 3, Rocket Watts. So he doesn't go he doesn't go for a loose ball on Thursday. Izzo benched him straight up. He went on the bench, did not play the rest of the game. He didn't start the game. They started a freshman, Holgard,
Well,
and then Rocket comes in and he becomes the guy.
give the guy kudos for playing his best game of the year against Michigan. He hasn't had a game like that practically all season.
He may have had one
Maybe.
earlier
Yeah, way
against
early.
like Eastern or
Yeah,
Oakland or
yeah,
something.
we're talking
Yeah.
December here.
Right, last year.
Right.
So those are my three takeaways from both. Michigan, don't slip up. Don't do it. Don't slip up. Oh, I have another Michigan take. That's coming up later in the show in my three losers. You won't want to miss that. So we're going to head to break.
Won't want to miss that.
Don't want to miss it. You'll
Okay.
like it.
I don't
You'll
know
like-
if
it's
anyone. I
creative.
don't know if there's going to be any bit chomping, but
It's creative. Coming up after the break, high school hoops from the weekend. AC hockey gets a couple championships. And Siena football struggles again on offense as they get upset down in Indiana. We'll be back. John Kane, yours truly, Ian Went, Inside the Cave. With that, we welcome you inside the cave, 96.5 FM, 965thecave.com. That's where we're streaming. You can find the show there. You can also head over to our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and find the link to the YouTube stream today where you can literally be inside the cave with us. I'm Ian Wendt, John Kane with you on a Monday morning. You're not crazy, it's a Monday, and we're both here. Happy to be here too, right, John?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, you have a busy week coming up.
I do. Yeah, thanks for doing that. Thanks to the other guys here on the crew. Yeah, I got a busy schedule this week. Tomorrow night I go to Ypsilanti, where, as you heard from the promo, the Lenawee Christian girls take on Ypsilanti Arbor Prep, and two of the best high school girls basketball players absolutely in the state of Michigan, and a lot of people think in the country. So that should be a good matchup in that one. Thursday, I head to Tecumseh, where the Indians will host Lenawee Christian in boys action. And Friday, I'll be going to Madison as the Madison Trojans host the Morenci Bulldogs. So all that going on this week. Saturday, last Saturday, it was an interesting game. It's a little bit different for me doing high school basketball in the afternoon. You know, it was a 1:30 start.
Like you had to get up in the morning type of thing.
Yeah, it's just
weird.
you know, it's just different. You know, your schedule's a little wonky. So yeah.
It was a 1:30.
Yeah, it was a
so
1:30.
on the half hour is weird too.
Yeah, right.
Now, how'd you manage?
You know, I don't know.
They should have interviewed you post game.
I don't know. Tell you the truth. But anyway,
So
it was
Adrian and
Lenawee Christian.
yeah.
Yeah, and when it was a decent game.
We have the fight song. I'll play it.
It was a decent game. I mean, Adrian never trailed in the game, but they weren't able to put Lenawee Christian away. Both teams really struggled with their shooting in the game, and because of that, I mean, Lenawee, I don't remember, Lenawee Christian had one triple in the game, and that didn't come until the fourth quarter. So they just were not able to hit the shots. And the difference in the second half of the game, there were two main surprises. Difference in the second half of the game is that Adrian actually played quite a bit of zone defense, daring Lenawee Christian to score from the outside, and they weren't hitting the triple. The other thing that kind of surprised me is that I had done Lenawee Christian in Sand Creek a little bit earlier, and Sand Creek used a half-court trap, zone trap with Tyler Waltz. He was the guy on the point.
Mm-hmm.
Got a good wingspan, and that just disrupted Lenawee Christian something terrible. And
Then you feel rushed.
well, they
little
weren't
bit.
able to get into their offense
Mhm.
well. Waltz got a number of steals or deflections, and resulted in some turnover opportunities for Sand Creek, and they rolled in that game. And then Lenawee Christian got into, I mean, there was a huge differential in free throws in that game between Lenawee Christian and Sand Creek. The two teams shot 3 free throws in the entire first half combined. And Sand Creek shot 41 free throws in the second half by themselves. The free throws were 43 to 8 in favor of Sand Creek. So I was surprised that Adrian, which I've seen them use that half-court trap with Joe Francis, who's got a considerable wingspan.
Sure.
I thought sure they were going to use that. Never used it one time in the game. So that was kind of different.
I mean, do you think it was a depth issue And
Yeah,
it would
I don't,
maybe
you know, I
tire
don't
the guys
know.
out a little bit.
I didn't get a chance to find out that particular situation, but, it kinda surprised me. But Adrian didn't shoot the three great, but they had 8 triples, and when you're 8-1, I mean, that right there is 21 points that somehow Illinois Christian's gotta make up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
It is,
That's a lot of points.
especially when you're not shooting the three.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it was a good game, and I'm looking
Tough
forward.
stretch for Lenawee Christian.
Yeah, well,
they
they've
got-
been playing a challenging schedule. There's no question about it. So, and both the clubs are pretty young. Neither one of them are using a lot of seniors. So, and of course, I wanted Thursday night. I'll go to Tecumseh. That's a matchup
That's
you don't.
an up and coming team.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're there.
Yeah.
Maybe
they've
Tecumseh's there.
Yeah, because some of those sophomores have been playing now almost 2 seasons. So, we'll see on that, but it's a game you gotta do because you don't get an opportunity to do that game very often. It just doesn't pop up on the schedule, so we'll find out. But, my one observation, perhaps the biggest win, was, Onstead defeating Blissfield earlier this week. They got revenge for that loss. I was there when Onstead and Blissfield played in Blissfield. Tight ball game at halftime, 4-pointer. But then Blissfield came out and scored the first 20 points of the second half. That pretty much does the game.
Right.
Right there. Yeah, you don't, they outscored Onstead 24-2 in the third quarter. Onstead.
So Onstead returns the favor.
Yeah, they came back. So that's going to be a little bit of a war when we get to tournament time.
Yeah, if they get in the same district,
Right.
or they meet in a regional or
Wherever.
what have you.
So that could be a war, but yeah.
So a real busy week of high school
Oh yeah,
basketball.
right.
So
Right. It's going to be.
catch the promos, catch John.
Right. Yeah, do all that.
It'll be
Catch
all
the
over.
games. All the games are going to be on the Cave, and they're all scheduled for a 7 p.m. tip-off. Of course, that depends on the JV game. But I'll just mention really quickly from Illinois Christian, Adrian, Tyler Van Etten had a great game, 22 points for him. But he was the only one in double figures for Adrian. It was Logan Woodring with 19, Marion Ficklin, who was our DSS and player of the game, with 14, and Joe Francis had 13.
Hour number 2 coming up next. Winners and losers from the weekend. We'll continue our basketball talk. We'll slide some football and hockey in there. You're inside the cave.
Oh, and don't forget the update. I'll be back.
Are you feeling optimistic? I am.
This is Inside the Cave on 96.5 FM and 965thecave.com. Sports talk radio with a local angle, where we give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports, interview area coaches and players, and get you ready to start your day.
Good morning.
Now grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass, because it's time to go inside the cave.
That's right. You are inside the cave. My name is Ian Wentz with John Kane today till 9 o'clock.
I think I
talking
can
all
probably go
things
take a
sports.
nap this hour.
Hey, watch this. I'll get it done.
Okay.
I'll get it done. I won't do a 30-minute update. Back
Okay.
to hour number one. First hour of the show, of course, brought to you by DNP Communications. DNP Communications is your business's source for all your communication needs. Contact a local consultant to see how they can help your local business thrive with innovative solutions to fit your needs and budget. Find them at d-p-comm.com. DNP Communications, connecting you to what matters most. Let's get hour number two going.
Now for an Inside the Cave sports update.
All right, check this out, John. Siena Heights sophomore Tyler Fugate was the lone representative on the Siena Heights women's track and field team to compete at the NAIA Women's Indoor Track and Field Championships. Cleared the bar at 3.73 meters in her second attempt before missing at 3.83 meters to get the sixth spot in the standings. 22nd ranked Siena Heights football upset by Indiana Wesleyan 10-17 on Saturday afternoon. Jared Jordan, big time bright spot for the Saints, 20 carries, 118 yards. He would also catch 8 passes for 71 yards. Tyler Necht, 19 of 29 through the air for 213 yards and a touchdown. The 0-2 Saints come back to host Lawrence Tech next week at O'Loughlin Stadium, looking for their first win. Kickoff scheduled for noon. Adrian women's hockey had a nail biter, pulled out a double overtime win, shootout style at the Arrington. The difference maker was a goal in that shootout by senior Abby Grias. Mia Glasgow had a save to seal the win. Here's their coach Sean Skelly, exhausted but happy after another thrilling win.
Yeah, I think they came with their best effort, and we didn't have our grade A game, but we figured out a way to win in a shootout, which we haven't been in. It was a fun challenge for us. Like, we haven't been in a game like that in a long time, and kudos to our program to figure out a way to win a hockey game. It was, not the prettiest, but it's exciting at the end of the day.
That's right. Keeps the unbeaten string going here too.
Yeah. Again, a win like that could help us big time moving into playoffs here as we end the regular season. So you're probably going to see that team here next weekend if we're able to win on Wednesday, and the next ones are going to be a battle for sure.
More on AC women's hockey the next 2 days as they head into the NCHA quarterfinals. Wednesday night they will take on Lake Forest College. With a balanced offense that saw 4 players score multiple goals, the Adrian College men's hockey team, they take on NCHA foe Trine, an 11-1 resounding win on Saturday. Freshman Ryan Butler, junior Trevor Kuykendall, Andrew Ballant, and Sam Ruffin scored 2 goals apiece. It all adds up to the regular season NCHA title, hoisting the Peters Trophy. Steve Barkway caught up with Coach Adam Krug after the celebration.
Yeah, we love trophies in this building. My former coach Ron Fogarty, he's back in town with Princeton being shut down. And he texted me this morning and said Trophy Day, something that we've cherished for a long, long time here. And any chance you get to win a trophy, whether it's regular season, playoffs, NCAA championship, which we don't know that feeling quite yet, it's a good day. And I'm really proud of our guys and our program and our school for getting through some tough times this year and being able to compete as much as we have, and to the point where we played all 8 games and won a conference championship.
and the Bulldogs will start their Harris Cup Championship defense starting Tuesday at home. They will take on Trine, who's the 4th seed in the South Division. So we have the quarterfinal set for Tuesday. Friday, the 12th, will be the semis, and then the following weekend will be the Harris Cup final. 5 women Bulldog wrestlers named All-Americans at the NCWWC. AC women's wrestling team competed in those championships hosted at Tiffin. Out of the 12 Bulldog wrestlers, Adrian placed 5 in the top 8. That would be some of them named All-American: Emily Mendez, Elisa Cox, Zoe Nowicki, Megan Vandrask, and Jasmine Hale for the Bulldogs. Siena Heights baseball had 4 games canceled due to poor field conditions. Siena softball, they're down south. They went 2 for 2. They swept Midway 12-11, then 12-3, then losing to Indiana Southeast 8-1, and then 9-5. AC softball, they finished 1-3 during their spring trip to Virginia. The latest, a 9-7 loss to Roanoke in Salem, Virginia. And then the finale, a tight 5-3 loss to Ferrum. They're off till the 18th. They will host Defiance. Boy, reading Roanoke and Salem brings you back to U.S. history days. Founding of the colonies. Anyway, doesn't it? No? Okay. John is about 5 feet from the mic. Okay. Tigers winners on Saturday over Baltimore, 6-5. Then they beat the Blue Jays, 5-1. The Tigers will take down the Yanks on Tuesday. Michigan State, hey, they played a game. They upset the Wolverines, giving them a good shot to make the tournament. Rocket Watts, 21 points. Aaron Henry, 18 to lead Michigan State to a 70-64 win over number 2 Michigan. That seemed to seal the deal for Tom Izzo's 23rd straight NCAA tournament bid. They've won 5 of their last 7, including wins over number 4 Ohio State, number 5 Illinois, and their second-ranked rivals. And a person with knowledge of the details says Blake Griffin agreed to sign with the Brooklyn Nets. He became a free agent after Detroit bought him out on Friday. He will join Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden in Brooklyn. Griffin was a number 1 pick back in 2009. Michigan, a big-time win over Northwestern. Naz Hillman, 19 points for the Lady Wolverines as they get the win, 63-58. And the Big Ten men's basketball tournament is set. First round action on Wednesday, Minnesota and Northwestern. Nebraska taking on Penn State. Thursday games, Michigan State and Maryland. Indiana and Rutgers. Ohio State and Wisconsin await the winners of the Wednesday games, getting the double byes. Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, and Purdue. That's it for the sports update this hour. This hour is being sponsored by your friends at Hyatt Insurance, with locations in Blissfield, Petersburg, and Lambertville. You won't get thrown into a push-button voicemail system. Personalized service is how they do business at Hyatt Insurance. So that's our sports update. We do those weekdays at 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the morning. Three winners, 3 losers from the weekend. Hi, John. I had to break the silence here. People started tuning out. I could hear their radios clicking off.
Well, I was waiting for you to get to the next segment.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll start the weekend losers first. So, I don't know if you did any, but I have 3, and I'd like to get your thoughts.
Inside the Cave, 3 losers from the weekend.
As part of the Monday show, it's of course 3 winners and 3 losers from this weekend. I go from least loser to the biggest loser.
Oh, okay.
But they're all losers from the weekend. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So number 3, Siena Heights University Saints football offense, scoring 10 points in their loss down in Indiana. They scored 7 the week before, so a 3-point improvement. Not going to cut it. They tried Tyler Knack, their quarterback, again. Just can't find a way to score multiple touchdowns in a game, because if they do, they could be 2-0. I mean, you score 14 against Concordia, you win.
Right.
And you score one more score against Wesleyan, and you're at least tied.
Right.
So that's my number 3 loser.
Okay.
Number 2. This is the one I alluded to earlier, John, where it's creative. You might find it interesting. You might find it insightful. Number 2 loser this weekend is Jim Harbaugh. And I will tell you why.
Can't wait.
On Thursday last week.
You're gonna tell us why on Thursday?
No. Last
Oh.
week, Thursday, Juwan Howard, Michigan men's basketball coach, defeated in-state rival Michigan State to clinch a Big Ten regular season title in his second season as head basketball coach. Harbaugh, going on year 7, has not played in a Big Ten conference championship game, has come close to beating Ohio State once. Harbaugh is the loser this weekend, watching another program at his school win a Big Ten regular season title, something he has not even sniffed at his time in Ann Arbor.
So what are you saying?
He's the loser this weekend.
So you saying they need to make a change?
I'm just saying he was the loser.
Okay, well, we'll get to more of that in a minute.
Number 1, watching the NBA All-Star Game as a game. Oh my gosh. I mean, you know, any All-Star game or Pro Bowl is a joke of a game. To watch it is just brutal. People are throwing up threes from anywhere. I get it, they're going in, and it's cool in that way. But if you're watching it for a game, it's terrible. I think that's the one advantage baseball has, right? Like the All-Star game for baseball, NL, AL, guys aren't there throwing lollipops. I mean, they're throwing their normal stuff. The NBA, they're not even defending.
No, it's the Matador defense gone wild.
Like, I was more entertained by the 3-point contest and the dunk contest than the game itself.
Well, that's because that's like a competition.
Right. The game is just a
The game
glorified
is-
practice.
Well, that's how we wound up getting into the fix. Is things like this, because they consider it entertainment and not sport. Well, when you take that particular phrase, entertainment, not sport, it's taken to the max in the NBA All-Star game.
Oh, yeah.
There's no sport going on there.
But you need to, if you want to enjoy it, and I'm sure some people do, just know what you're watching.
Well, see, I didn't even watch it, and I didn't know what the score was, and that's when I asked you this morning, did anyone get to 200? Because that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the first time that one team in the NBA All-Star game scores 200 points.
It was 170 to 150.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just as an all-star game, I think it's probably the worst.
You know?
And I think baseball's got the best one,
Yeah, I do too.
which is the only thing I think baseball has over the other sports, even the NFL. I think the Pro Bowl is more of a joke than the
Yeah.
baseball all-stars.
Oh,
you know?
I definitely rank it basketball. I definitely rank it NBA, NFL, NHL, and MLB.
Yeah, that's a fair ranking. So those are my 3 losers from the weekend. Siena Heights offense for their football team. Jim Harbaugh for watching Juwan Howard win a Big Ten title. And number 1, the NBA All-Star game itself. John, do you have a loser off the top of your head, or?
No, I
You
just
do
want to
agree
comment.
with mine.
I just want to comment a little bit
Okay.
on yours.
Sure.
First, the Siena Heights thing. Yeah, there's no question. they're struggling offensively. And in this particular game, they get 10 points, but it was a great game by Jared Jordan. But the other edge of the sword on that one was, it was bad for the offense that Jordan, you know, had 118 yards on the ground, and he also caught 8 passes. Or is it 9?
Yeah. I
8
think it's 8 for 71.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you have one guy with that much offense, they're not getting anybody else involved.
Or they can't.
Or they can't.
Or they're getting schemed that way.
In the game. I mean, Neck only had 11 completions to somebody besides Jordan. They are not getting good distribution with their passing attack. And when your outside receivers are not involved at all, or are only involved to the extent that, you know, they're running some out routes or curls and not stretching the field. You know, although the touchdown they had against Concordia was a 70-yarder, but it's a situation where I don't know, you know, so far we haven't seen a fix. And I know they're working on it like crazy, but
Right. They know it.
yeah, they
Everyone
know
knows it.
Yeah, so
You see it, but
it's something that's just got to get picked up. Because, like I said, the defense is playing well enough to win.
oh yeah.
You
Yes.
know. But
Still, I mean, consistently.
Yeah, but if you can't score 20 points a game, you can't win. So they got to get that fixed, and you know they're going to be, the next opponent's going to be game planning for Jordan
Sure.
and force Siena to try and beat him with something else. So we'll see on that one. You know, we already talked. There's not much to talk about as far as the NBA's concerned. I mean, you know, that's just like you know, a cross country meet. The NBA All-Star Game is like a jogging meet.
Yeah. Look, I understand
It's
what the game is about.
well,
But
I
it's
am
just
not.
It's still not entertaining to me.
No, it's not. It's not. And I don't know. You know, entertain to anyone. I'd like to know what the TV ratings were on that clunker. You know, because
And it's a late Sunday night too.
yeah, and they're just not, and they're just not getting. Wouldn't bother me at all if they just skipped the darn thing, you know, and had a ceremony, an all-stars, you know, ceremony.
We'll do the skills competition.
Yeah, you can figure out doing some skills stuff, but it's a game I'm not familiar with at all. The one they play in the All-Star game. I don't know what the purpose is. I don't know what the purpose is for each player out on the floor, other than to score.
And to not get hurt.
Right.
That's the other thing.
Well, I mean, you know.
Which is why they're not really defending.
Right.
They don't want to bump someone while they're
Right.
going up for a
It's-
dunk and then they
right.
snap
They-
their leg in half.
Yeah,
You
it's-
don't want that.
I mean, it's a layup 80% of the time.
It's a three
Or
or a dunk,
yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked
So-
about two of my losers. Do you have a thought on my number 2, Jim Harbaugh?
My thought is that you could bring that up every week.
With the success
I know, I
Jelon's
just
had
get
in
it.
2 seasons, Harbaugh's been there for 6.
You could bring that up as one every week until he gets over the
No,
Ohio,
but this one is special
Ohio State schneid. Oh, just because,
because Howard,
you know.
because they won the regular season.
What,
I haven't been on the air since then, John.
What happens when Howard, I know they've lost a couple games, but I
Sure.
still believe he's gonna win the Cotty. You
Oh
know?
yeah,
So what
No doubt.
happens to Harbaugh when Howard wins the Cotty in his second year?
yeah. Maybe he's back on my list. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Or I just won't be back on the show on a Monday. Jeff will keep me off the show on a Monday.
He'll be back on your list as soon as Howard wins the Cotty, the coach of the year.
But like it's at your school. Like he's down the street from you. He's winning the transfer portal. He got Smith and Brown. He recruited an outstanding freshman in Dickinson.
And he's got the best incoming class in the country.
Right. Anyway, those are my losers. We have to do some winners.
Oh, we're gonna do that after the break?
I want to do them right now.
Oh, wow, we're gonna go OT.
Yeah, we're gonna go over. It's fine. Just buckle in. We'll be fine. We'll make it through. Number 3, we mentioned him earlier, Jared Jordan. Huge game for Siena Heights. Although the offense didn't score too much, he was
Right.
great.
Yeah,
Outstanding. Over 200 yards of total offense.
and when you can get a running back that can catch the ball on the backfield, that makes you even more dangerous. But he needs some complementary players.
Yes. And he's not the fastest guy in the world. He's
No.
more of a physical runner. And to get that type of game is outstanding. Number 2, going to Adrian College women's hockey, 2 players in specific, Abby Grias, Mia Glasgow, the 2 seniors that got the job done in the shootout, Grias scoring the goal, Glasgow making the save for the women to get that win on home ice on senior day. Number 1, Michigan State, parentheses, Tom Izzo, welcome back to the big dance. Michigan State, it was gloomy, gray skies. Now the skies are green in East Lansing. The Spartans are dancing. They're my number 1 winner for the weekend. We'll take a break. If John wants to talk about those, we'll do that. If not, we move on to the Big Ten men's basketball tournament. That's coming up next. You're listening to Inside the Cave with yours truly, Ian Wendt and John Kane. Find us on social media, 965 The Cave.
gets you the story inside the Cave. 96.5 The Cave.
Do you sense a theme today? College basketball is the theme. I'm Ian Wentz. That's John Kane inside the Cave. We're here till 9 o'clock. Big time basketball weekend. The Big Ten men's basketball tournament field has been set. And now we have John Kane yawning on the live stream. Check it out on our YouTube channel. John looks like he's flying, but he's catching a lot of bugs because his yawning mouth. Anyway, our predictions for the Big Ten tournament coming up later on in the show. But right now, what's our sort of expectation, or how do you think Michigan and Michigan State are going to play? We start with the champs of the Big Ten, regular season style. Michigan, they have the double bye. They are in the quarterfinal. They will play Friday, the 12th. Game time set for 11:30 a.m. on the Big Ten Network. They will either play number 9 Michigan State or number 8 Maryland. What's sort of your expectation, or what do you think Michigan needs to do in the tournament to solidify themselves as a 1 seed?
Oh, I think they just, they need to play their game. I'm not going to say they need to win the tournament, although we talked a little bit about this earlier. There's a thing out there that, Gonzaga and Baylor are probably ones, and they could be talking about 2 Big Ten teams getting a 1. I think Michigan is in for a 1, and we talked a little bit. The only way I don't see that happening is if Illinois wins the tournament, because I think if they win the tournament, Illinois would lock up a 1, and so that could be, a fly in the ointment. I'm not sure about that. So, but
I mean, as it stands right now, I think Michigan and Illinois are the other 2 1 seeds.
right, as it stands right now.
Yeah.
But certainly they're going to I think they have to beat Michigan State in the quarterfinal to make sure they lock up a 1.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, it would either be Purdue or likely Ohio State.
The thing is, there's just not anybody else out there. Yeah, the ACC is not super
there's
strong
no
this
Duke.
year. Duke
Really?
and North Carolina are both not.
They're down.
They're down. The SEC, Alabama's playing well, but it's just not. It's not a school that you traditionally would want to put a 1 at. And there's and the same with the Pac-12. So the thing is, I just don't see another one. I don't see another number 1 out there, really, besides Michigan and Illinois.
I mean, the next one would probably be Iowa. Right?
Yeah, but
And they got housed by Michigan
they lost to them
a
twice.
couple times.
Yeah.
So what if, hypothetical, let's say Iowa makes it to the final and they beat Michigan. Are those 2 1 seeds? Because then Iowa would have a win over probably Illinois and Michigan.
Yeah, but I don't see that. I mean, I don't see
You think
Iowa
Iowa's
being
locked
able.
in at a
I
2?
know if it happens, but I just don't see Iowa winning that game. People have figured out how to play Garza by the end of the year. It can happen, but Iowa has to shoot the lights out, in my opinion, to win that game. They don't defend well enough. If they've got Illinois or Michigan in the final, they don't defend well enough to win that game unless they just shoot the lights out.
So
So-
overall, quick summary, what you need from Michigan is beat Michigan State.
And I think they
You
got,
got
a
the
number
one
one.
seed.
Yeah.
Now-
They'll be in the semifinal, and if they don't win that, well, whatever.
Then it's really up to the committee.
It's up to the committee, but like I said, I don't see that there's
Who's
anybody else
next?
out there.
Right.
Who are you gonna put in there? If you don't put Michigan and Illinois in, number one seeds, who are you gonna put in there? Florida State, they just lost to Notre Dame, who's not gonna be in the tournament. You can't, and
I mean, you're looking at
Alabama?
West Virginia as number 6, Alabama. I mean, realistically, Iowa's the next one. I mean,
I don't see them putting two from the Big 12 in if they're not gonna put 2 from the Big 10 in as number one seeds. So you're gonna say Baylor and West Virginia are number one seeds, and both Michigan and Illinois are not? I don't
I'd
see
rather
that.
Michigan, Illinois.
Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
no question. So part of it is there's just not anybody else this year that's
What-
playing well enough to justify a one seed. I know, we'd have to go back and check the records, but is this a first? Would this be the first time that one conference had put 2 number one seeds into the tournament?
Great question.
So, it's just a matter of, I don't know, I don't see an alternative. If I saw an alternative, I would say it. But to me, West Virginia is not a great alternative.
Illinois got the resume.
They
over
do.
them.
They do.
Plain
There's
and
no-
simple.
Right. So,
So Michigan, it's simple. Beat Sparty or Maryland, because they could play Maryland,
right.
and you locked up the one. If you lose, it's kind of up to the committee, but we think the committee will still say, Michigan, you're a 1.
Yeah.
Big Ten is good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've gone through a gauntlet of games this year. You have
Right.
big time wins on your resume. You're still a 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in that same camp. I believe that too.
Okay.
Kind of like they were saying on the broadcast yesterday that Michigan State has everything to gain from beating Michigan, but Michigan doesn't lose anything from losing to State.
Right. Although
Other
I
than
think
maybe momentum, and
Right.
obviously the Brooks injury is big. Hope he comes back. But I think it's the same way in the tournament. Like, you won't get punished for losing.
well, and if it's Michigan State in the quarterfinal, that will just say volumes for both teams because they'll be playing on a neutral floor this time, and each team has looked really good on their home floors. So
That's right.
that could be the determiner, and that just leads us into the Michigan State discussion now.
Yeah, what's the...
You talked about Michigan not slipping up. Don't mess it up now.
I know. State's
You're in
got to
the-
keep it going.
Well, State's in the same boat. Because what's the difference here? The difference could be if they lose to Maryland. See, if they,
Look, I think they're in.
I'm not saying they're not in, but the difference is going to be they lose to Maryland, they might have to play the extra game. They
They
might
could.
come in as a play-in as an 11.
Yeah, I think
You
right-
want to avoid that if you can avoid that.
Yes. Oh,
Not
for
being,
sure.
don't be an 11 and have the extra game to play. Because it's a long stretch, the tournament. So if they lose to Maryland, they're probably an 11 playing.
You
If they beat Maryland, they might be able to avoid that and maybe get like a 10 and not have to play that extra game.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important incentive
It
for
is.
Michigan State.
To number one, show improvement over a team you lost to last time and didn't look good doing it.
Right.
After I come on the air and say they're a tournament team, like 2 hours later they lose to Maryland.
Yeah.
But then they right the ship, and you all know the story. I think I'm in the same boat as you. I don't know if it would be a play-in game for the 11 spot, but they would certainly fall
Yeah.
a few spots. A lot of people's
Well,
brackets.
yeah, I suppose they could fall far enough. They could fall to a 12 and still not have to play
Exactly
the
right.
play-in game.
Yeah. So you can have that, but
But then you're going to draw a 4 in your first game of the tournament.
yeah.
That's a toughie.
At this point, it's getting there.
Yeah.
You know, ever since 2 weeks into the Big Ten season, it's like, okay, can Michigan State make it to the big dance?
And
They are, and the only thing they could really do is, I don't know, how much higher would they go? Let's say they beat Michigan again.
Well,
would
yeah.
they go up to like a 9 seed or an
could
8?
be. Yeah, it's possible.
You'd still be sub 500 in the Big Ten.
Yeah, but the thing is, they have an opportunity to show the committee what they can do. The conference tournament is important from this respect. They have an opportunity to show the committee what they can do on a neutral floor, which is what's going to be happening in the big dance. We've seen that they've played well at home. We've seen that they've played wretchedly sometimes on the road. What are they going to do on a neutral floor against a team that they lost to recently on their floor? And if they can win that game, what would they do on a neutral floor against Michigan? Committee would like to see that probably, as far as figuring out a seed for them. It's important.
Yes. So pretty simple. Michigan State win.
Right.
It answers a lot of questions.
Answers a lot of questions.
Big
Absolutely.
Ten tournament starts Wednesday. State tips off Thursday, 11:30 a.m. against Maryland. We'll be back. We're talking our Big Ten tournament predictions. We might get some betting in there. Take a look at some of the over-unders around the world of sports. Coming up next, John Kane, yours truly, Ian Wentz, Inside the Cave on 96.5 The Cave, 965thecave.com. Welcome inside the cave. I'm Ian West. That's John Kane. We're hanging out here inside the cave in beautiful Adrian, Michigan. Should be a warm day today. Looking forward to that. But for right now, we got to finish up the show. We got our Big Ten men's basketball predictions right around the corner. A quick score from the weekend to the ice. Lenawee United took on Dexter for their second time this season. They would fall a tight contest, 4-1. Vast improvement over the 8-0 loss earlier this season. So improvement for Lenawee United. And yeah, let's start the last segment. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm going to say, we're still talking the Big Ten Conference tournament. I'm thinking that one thing the committee would like to see is Michigan and Illinois playing in the championship game. I think they'd like to see that game played on a neutral floor, especially since Illinois really took care of Michigan on Michigan's floor, and then to add even more to that, without their best player, who did not play in that game. And I think Michigan would like that match. That to me is maybe the only motivation Michigan might have to at least get to the championship game and to get another shot at Illinois, because they didn't play well on their home floor against the Illini. And the committee might, want to see that. Because if they wind up taking Michigan and Illinois as number ones, what regions are they going to place them in? Are they going to place them in opposite brackets? Or are they going to place them in brackets where they would, if they got that far, they would meet in the semifinal game and not play one another for the championship?
Probably.
I think they're trying
Probably
to.
the same side.
Yeah, I think they're trying to avoid that now if they can. I remember, like the first time it ever happened, 45 years ago. Michigan played Indiana for the national championship. And I was at that game and broadcast that game from the Spectrum in Philadelphia. So I think maybe after that happened, and they didn't even think about it back then. And of course the field was smaller, a little smaller back then. Didn't even think about it, I think. And now, with more and more teams out of each conference, they're trying to avoid those matchups. It can happen, but now it normally wouldn't happen with ones. You're right. I think they're going to put them on each side of the team, of the bracket there. And that's still my favorite Michigan basketball team. Phil Hubbard, Ricky Green, and Wayman Brett.
How long ago was this?
45 years ago,
Okay.
1976.
Man. Oof. Okay.
So it was cool.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm just thinking there now. But it's going to be exciting. The whole tournament's going to be a nail biter. I mean, there's a possibility that it could be Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, and Ohio State in the last four, or the Spartans. That's the other thing. Michigan State gets by Michigan. They're in the Final Four in the conference tournament.
Yeah.
They can win it.
That's simple.
They could win it. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that being said, let's take the last few minutes to give our prediction.
Okay.
Big Ten tournament for the men starts Wednesday, going through Sunday the 14th, and then it's selection Sunday later that day, or like right after the game. One of those two. Wednesday's games: number 13 Minnesota and number 12 Northwestern.
Who knows? 12
Come
and
on,
13.
Come on.
You're just making a guess here.
Yeah, we're making guesses.
Okay. I'll go with the Cats.
Me too. I have a reason, because Minnesota's now playing at home. They're really good at home. Away from home, different team.
Well, nobody's playing at home.
I know.
Okay.
Nebraska, number 14, and Penn State, number 11. Is there an upset here?
I'm gonna go with Nebraska.
Ooh, you are going with the upset. I'll take Penn State. Nebraska doesn't really have a pulse.
Yeah, I know, I get
but
it.
neither
but
does
who
Penn
knows?
State, really. Okay, Thursday games. Wisconsin, the 6th seed. In your case, they are taking on Nebraska. Doesn't matter who Wisconsin plays, Penn State or Nebraska.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm taking Wisconsin there too. The number 10 seed, Indiana Hoosiers. Number 7, Rutgers. Who you got?
You know, I don't. I'm gonna take Rutgers.
I'll be contrarian. I've kind of leaned toward Indiana all year. I think they're better than people give them credit for.
Yeah, but I
So-
haven't seen them win a big game yet.
This one could be it. Hoosiers.
I just
Over
haven't seen
Scarlet
them win a
Knights.
big game yet.
All right. Now we have Ohio State and Northwestern, assuming Northwestern wins. Does that matter?
No.
Who Ohio State plays?
No.
Yeah, I got the Buckeyes too. And then the early game Thursday, Michigan State, Maryland, round 2. Spartans the 9th seed, Maryland the 8th.
Well, I already know who you're going with. I mean, it's not like you're gonna pick Maryland.
I wouldn't bet on the game.
No,
But
neither
yeah,
would
I'll
I.
pick
Nine,
State.
a 9 versus an 8? No.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna go with Michigan State.
I think it'll be a lot better than the first time. I think it'll be within a
Well,
couple
yeah,
scores.
it better be a
Either
lot
way.
better than the first time.
Like as a game, you know, like it was never really
Right.
close between them the first time. I think it'll be close. I think State gets the win there. Going on to the next round, we would have Iowa and Wisconsin in the quarters.
That's a
They
tough
just
pick.
played
I know.
yesterday, and Iowa came away with a win at home.
Yeah, but I don't know on a neutral. That's a tough one. I'm gonna go whiskey.
I think Garza's the difference. Having some time off, he'll get the job done again. I got Iowa. So Illinois, the 2 seed, in your bracket, they're playing Rutgers.
It
Does
doesn't
that
matter.
matter?
It does not matter.
Yeah, I got Illinois too. Moving on to the Final Four, the men's side here. Purdue, in our scenario, they're the number 4. They're taking on Ohio State, the 5 seed. How about this one?
Yeah, that's gonna be a nice game, isn't
Yeah.
it? I'm gonna go with Purdue.
Oh, are the Buckeyes real?
They're real, but they're not always real.
Right, I know.
So
Yeah, I'll go Purdue. I mean, Ohio State, they could fall on their face and lose in their first game.
or they could win the
Or they
tournament.
could win the tournament, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly how we all feel about them. Michigan State, Michigan, round 3. Assuming State beats Maryland, of course.
Right. Well, neutral floor. I'd have to pick Michigan.
I got Michigan. I mean, they're a better team.
Yeah.
They are, and
yeah.
they have better players.
We don't know if they're gonna play better, but
Right. We'll see how State looks Thursday.
yeah.
We'll see how State looks Thursday, and if Eli Brooks is okay, and if he even plays,
Right.
you know, for Michigan. All right, we are to the Final Four for the Big Ten men's tournament. We have Purdue and Michigan.
Michigan.
Same here. I think Purdue gives them a run. I think they got the guys inside to play with Dickinson.
But
But-
the only thing about Purdue is they've got they're the closest to a home floor
Sure.
of any school because they're just going down the road to Indianapolis.
The other semifinal, You have Wisconsin, Illinois.
Illinois.
I have Iowa, Illinois. Man, this might be the best game of the whole tournament. I'll go Iowa.
Okay. I don't
got
see
Iowa
it.
on this one.
I think Illinois is too big. They're going to neutralize Garza, but that's why.
I'm feeling Iowa.
Okay.
Big Ten championship game for the tournament. Michigan and Illinois in John Kane's bracket.
Yeah. I'm going to go Michigan.
I have Iowa, Michigan. I think Michigan does the same thing that they did earlier, and they beat Iowa.
You don't even have Illinois in the championship game.
No.
Okay. Could cost them their
feeling
number
the
one.
Hawkeyes.
Could cost them their number one seed.
It could. It could. I mean, you have to have some. You can't just pick the favorite all the way through
Well, sometimes you got to because
they're the
it's
favorite for the reason.
Well, they're
Yeah.
just a better team. That doesn't mean they're going to play better, but they're a better team, better personnel.
So we got Michigan bouncing back, winning the Big Ten tournament. We'll all know Sunday, the 14th of March, for the men's basketball tournament in the Big Ten. Great
All right.
show. Thank you everyone.
Wait a
for
minute. What
tuning
was this hour
in.
brought by?
What?
Who brought us this hour?
Oh. Well, the hour was brought to you by Iad Insurance. With locations in Blissfield, Petersburg, and Lambertville, you won't get thrown into a push-button voicemail system. Personalized service is how they do business at Iad Insurance. Great show, John.
Yeah. Next time.
That's right. We'll see you next time inside the cave.
Yes, it's hard to deny.
Barely got.